Good morning.
Hi.
Buenos días. Hola.
¿Cómo está?
Bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Mhm.
That's all I know.
Hi, y'all.
Don't get me excited. What's up, dear Nancy? Is everything good, Nancy?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm about to take my whole office apart and clean every crystal in here. And I think I did a quick count in my head. That's about 400 that aren't in drawers. Going to rearrange my whole office and getting back into things and getting back in the swing. Bought some cool crystals in Colorado. Got two new decks, one on crystals and one that I'd seen, the Guardian of the Night Tarot, and just trying to get back in the swing of things. I answered everybody's emails finally that wrote me while I was gone, and I had on 8/8 Lionsgate right after I'd gotten a text from my former political partner in crime doing campaigns about Mar-a-Lago. In walks Debbie Freebird and Sheila Celtic, and we were meeting over dinner, and we did a little 8/8 Lionsgate, which looked very good when we put all our stones together. It looked like a very positive thing's going to happen. But and you would have thought that we would have sat there and obsessively talked about that incident. We all went, well, it's happening, and then we just went on with our own stuff. So there's something to doing that, folks. There's something to not focusing on that incredible insanity.
I agree.
How did does the elevation or anything affect you?
Yeah, I check my oxygen stats because of my lungs, and it's just a bad habit. They're fine, but my oxygen stats stayed around 92, 93% the whole time I was there. Popped back down into where I live now in Dallas, and the other night I was at 97% all night. So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, my lungs said, "Hey, we got to really work at this because there's not enough air here." I don't get altitude sickness, but then I don't go out hiking around in the woods or looking for fun waterfalls. My friend's a bit like me; she's kind of sedentary, and we hung out at her house and watched your show last week, Sunday morning. Woo! Um, Caught up on a lot of stuff. She does a lot more ghost hunting than I do. One interesting thing: we did go to a restaurant. It's called the Melting Pot, and it's in an old civic building in Lakewood. And my friend ghost hunts, I don't. So she has all the little things on her phone to see if the ghosts are there, catch their energy, those little
Yeah.
stick SLS things. And the waitress said, "Oh, is that what you guys do?" And I said, "She does it, I don't." And she said, "Well, you're sitting in the room that was the cell where Charlie was killed, who was a prisoner who was killed there." And they actually have ghost hunting trips that go through there. They claim there's a little girl and a guy named Charlie that haunt the place. So Sherilyn said, "Oh, let's fire up my camera." And there was a little girl sitting at the end of our table.
Uh-huh.
But
Oops.
anyway, so that was lots of fun. It's lots of fun to get out and get away from the things you would normally do. Hi, new grandma.
Hi, new grandma. Bless you. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Yes, thank you.
Boy, there's a lot of comments and worry about people passing today. Trump's brother and Ivana, graveyards, documents. Something
Hmm.
happened with documents this week. We had a crazy man in Florida. Well, actually, in
You
Bedminster. But
you can bury things underneath Ivana's coffin if you want to believe that happened. But in actual truth in government, there's always two copies of everything. And where he got in trouble is when they started marrying up what they pulled out against what they didn't have a second copy of, and that's where he got caught. They realized how much was still missing because he had originally said he only had those first 14 boxes, and then they went in and found 14 more.
yeah, I noticed another good question though from other good folks on Twitter that are curious. You know, he probably made copies,
Hmm.
have them in New York or other places. So, I guess let's check on the casket first.
Okay.
Okay.
My visuals don't see anything in the casket, but I never thought about under the casket. But like Nancy said, there's documents to everything. You can't secretly just pay off stuff. Pay off the backhoe diggers and everyone else too. And I don't know, was there a ceremony of the lowering? Oh, of course, I remember my moms and others, they had this drape thing. So you can't really see down in there. So just thinking logically here. Okay. The casket, underneath, underground. Then there was something about someone questioned about his brother's death. He was buried somewhere else in Jersey, supposedly.
A long time ago. He didn't have any way to get to state secrets then.
He might have.
I don't know. I think you're giving the man way more power than he had. And I think you're giving him credit for the power he thinks he has in his own mind. Is there anything under the casket? I got 2 yeses as the beginning, and then I got 4 no's. And that there's 4 no's because this is a no, and these are the other 2 no's. And it's that they couldn't get it together in time if they were going to try to do that.
You're thinking there was a plan, but it didn't work.
I'm thinking they were looking for anything, but I think she may have died too quickly, or they weren't feeling threatened enough. I don't think they had a chance to execute a plan if they wanted to. So, and I think their understanding of
So I was just laughing because that's what I'm getting here from the cards. Because I don't believe it happened, whatever, but there was a plan there to do something like that. So here's all the documents. You know, the loss of the 3 of Swords. Then I had the 7 of Coins and the Lovers. So here's accumulation of documents or whatever associated with his past love, we'll say. And then I have the plan, whatever, the Ace of Coins, and then a choice, the 2 of Swords. And then they had to walk away from it with the 8 of Cups in the end. So they would have been caught or something happened with the 2 of Swords, Wands. 8 of Cups, 2 of Wands. It's like they had to walk away from it. Whatever plan there.
What'd you get, Jeff?
I don't know.
I don't see anything there.
New message. I start with the 2 of Cups, which is really a yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I get the Wheel of Fortune, which is kind of a plan. And then I get this, which is really about the earth, and it almost feels like, like that was put in the earth, the pentacle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get the Ace of Wands, which is kind of a yes, planting it. And then I get the Knight of Swords, so maybe there wasn't time.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they had a plan. They definitely had a plan.
There was a
But
plan.
it became too much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just can't believe this was even a thought to put something in Ivana's grave.
It's unbelievable.
You kept me meow, meow, meow. What about Robert? Robert Trump died August 15th, 2020.
I thought he was dead before Trump ran for office.
That's what I thought too.
Maybe the wrong year.
I will go check. I'll
Let's
do a
skip.
little.
We can skip the date, but that was all kind of mysterious too. Whether he died of COVID or whatever, there was nothing really said about who, what, where, and why about him.
He did die of COVID during the thing. That's right. Were there two brothers?
Mary Trump's dad.
He died in 2020.
He did die in 2020?
Yep. And his siblings were Fred Trump Jr. That's the one that I was thinking about. That's the Mary Trump's father. Mary Ann, the one that was a judge. There's another one in here, some named Elizabeth, who I've never heard of. And then Donald. Yeah, he died in 2020.
Yeah, seemed longer than that.
I don't think the other one died a long time ago. He died of complications of alcoholism.
Right.
Mary Trump. That was Fred Jr.
Yep. Okay. Anything in Robert Trump?
Okay, let's see.
Okay, there's somebody named Jean that you said something that's part of their shtick, and it gave me a kick because I felt like I was back in New York already. All right, what's the question?
Just asking about Robert's grave. Robert Trump was Trump's younger brother, and the funeral was at the White House. Yeah, that was crazy.
I got a no. Just a straight up no. Mostly because they didn't have the stuff in a form they could have moved it around in. It was locked up at that point. Trump still hadn't figured out how to get a hold of all of it.
No.
Aha! No. No. So
Weird. This toss is weird. It's not talking about Robert here.
mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know what to think about with this.
All right. Called back to the other grave.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Piece of coin.
This is the last thing I expected to read on is like graves and what they buried in people's graves. It's like, what?
Other than the people, I wouldn't know.
I'm thinking about Robert, and I'm getting about the prosecution of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why this is coming out. It says this is nothing about Robert's grave or whatever. Basically, it's just showing me that Garland and the DOJ got some bad news on Trump, and he's going to prison, or that's the plan.
Well, they're going to incarcerate him somehow. The friend I was staying with in Denver happens to be a paralegal, and she works at pretty high levels. She's written things that have gone to the Supreme Court. I mean, she understands that level of law. She and I spent a whole lot of time talking about that. She said that's their biggest problem. Where did they put him?
That's why I was told and I seen he's going into a secure cell by himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's going in the nut house.
Yeah, I think they're going to put him in one of the federal mental institutions. It'd be easier to incarcerate him there and keep him isolated, according to her. Now, how my friend has an intimate knowledge of what goes on in federal mental institutions, I don't know, and I didn't ask her. But, it was really interesting because when we were talking about the grounds for setting up the kinds of warrant that they used, she had it completely right when I was reading some of the details, later on it. She was extremely correct on what all was in there and what they were looking for. So.
When we were talking about the federal prison, I had this vision of like some idiot like baking a cake with a file in it, you know.
Well, his MAGA supporters will. There's going to be a big run on files at Home Depot.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe I watched too many cartoons as a kid. I don't know.
Well, I got every bad card here for thinking about Robert's grave, but the Eight of Swords, justice is coming. Things will get better.
Yeah, I saw the Eight of Swords.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wheel of Fortune, Emperor, King of Swords. I mean, I got my white card, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's all bad. And I got Justice in there, the Eight of Swords being locked up, and justice is coming. It's like they pretty much have everything they need on 45. So I have 9 of coins, 7 of coins, Ace of coins. These are all the powerful coins with accumulating the coins, and then Ace of coins is prosperity, everything. But they're waiting on something yet. I got the Hangman and 6 of Swords. So once they get past this Hangman moment, 6 of Swords, things get better. There's a new transition of something, but they're waiting on something, maybe collaboration. Make sure all the documents are sealed. Something. I think the next question should be about, did he make copies?
Okay. I'll look at that.
Did the former guy or assistants, whatever, make copies in other places? Heck, he made his copies and gave the Saudis or whoever at Bedminster's golf course there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know.
I think some of what we sense around Bedminster, around her grave, is because they put it there so they could get another tax break on their property because it's now a graveyard.
Again.
Well. Oh, some of these comments are so funny.
What I saw about, did they make copies? This is my card that means transition. They were thinking about it, but then I got these 2 cards. They could never get it together to do it. They couldn't figure out who to trust because they had plans for where they were going to distribute these 2. And it was very much against government. So I got, no, they never got them copied because they didn't get their act together.
I kind of got the same thing.
Well, the government's got the video too from Mar-a-Lago.
Mm.
So that's good news. They subpoenaed that.
Yeah.
Okay. Copies of the secrets.
Yeah, you want to see what I got? Right? They had the idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a government thing. It was a lot of work. They kind of had it in their hands. And then they sort of got stuck in their own thing, and I got the moon again.
Okay.
So it's sort of like, you know, they couldn't agree. It was in the dark. It was a big conglomerate.
They just didn't move fast enough.
Yeah.
I have a question that someone brought to me. They actually wrote it to me. And they said, is what put the fire under the DOJ to go in there and get those documents? Did they see information they knew had been leaked in their intelligent network? Did they know information was out there that should not have been out there and that the only place it could have come from was in the White House?
It's possible.
Is that what do you want to ask if they were tracking in information that had already broken outside of the sphere?
Well, I didn't finish my throw, but I'm getting he may have leaked information already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing copies. I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting information has been moved already. So he already told secrets.
Okay.
But my talk isn't showing copies, but I'm showing release of copies. Or just saying, or talking, or zip files, or photos, or something.
Oh yeah, I got that they did leak information already. The Four of Swords reversed. Instead of sitting on it, they were letting it go, and they weren't being very smart about it. So they were. And then I got 2 threes. Got the three. This is all the folks getting in the boat together and getting along and agreeing on things, and this is what's leading to his heartache. And then it was done in a very foolish, unwell thought out way. So it was easy to trace it back.
Was that the leak, or are you talking about before?
I'm talking about that they found a leak. They knew there was a leak, and when they traced it back, the only way back was.
Well, long ago, I was reading about the archives were looking for more documents, and that could have led to things too. But you're getting here that Intel found something prior, possibly.
Intel. What happened is within that community, they found information that should not have been out there. Some sort of methods and standards, or it led to someone. And so they went like, where could this have come from? That's what made them realize there was even more missing than they thought.
This sounds right to me.
Yeah, I get like it's almost like they planted it knowing that he would do it in a way. It's like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the justice, like the law, they gave them a lot, and he's like, I'm the king, right? But they're going to find it. They found it. It's like they planted it. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting and waiting. They've been sitting and waiting until they could move forward, which is now. Yep, they're moving forward again.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it was a plan.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Is this related to Jared?
Mm-hmm.
Jared Khashoggi payoff or something with that years ago. So now we're getting all this weird stuff with, Saudi.
I think
money. Mnuchin got $1 billion. Jared got $1 billion. Is that for also secrets? I mean,
I had something I could sell for $1 billion.
I know, right? You have some secrets, some secret art. Totally normal stuff. Someone in the White House gets $1 billion for investment growth.
I got that MBS only got part of the information he wanted. What he paid for. I saw that something stopped it from moving forward, and so the message didn't get through to him loud and clear. But and the genius behind this was.
Say it again.
The genius behind selling this stuff was Ivanka.
Oh my God! If that's
for entertainment purposes only.
For entertainment only, yeah. If that was the case, she should be locked up too.
Oh, they all should be. But and the outcome is somebody was trying to balance something, and it had to do with how their structure, their hierarchy. So he didn't get what he really wanted. But if he got anything, it's more than. And if I were the Israelis, I'd be furious because supposedly a lot of this has to do with nuclear stuff, and we have all of where their stuff is. So, the nuclear weapons they don't have.
Oddly enough, I have a queen coming out too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so Ace of Coins, Page of Coins, Page of Cups. I think it was all about documents. That Page of Swords, with this making me feel like it could have an energy of Khashoggi or information that was coming out on MBS or something like that. Articles or. But yeah, there's a big payoff here with those coins there in the past and the reasoning. But it had to do with the Page of Swords, which could have been Khashoggi or some bad intel news coming. I believe Jamal had a article or something bad coming out that people were worried about. The reason why he got the axe. So then I have a creator next to a woman with a Ten of Swords moment. So it might have ruined her life, the organization or something with the creator or magician basically next to a female and then a Ten of Swords. So there was some kind of huge worry. They had to change ideas and how they're going to do something. There's some kind of, there was a master plan feeling there. There's still, I don't know, there's still worries about justice coming on them. Things from the past, so I got childhood memories, things from the past, justice, and the burdens of the Ten of Wands. So there's still justice on their tail. It's kind of a weird throw, but Jared's $2 billion. They're still worried they're going to get locked up. Yeah, that $2 billion is weird. It was for payoffs. I didn't get any documents here coming out because this is all relating to money in the past for me. Justice on the doorstep. This is probably why I felt Jared was so wrapped up and he's going to be in prison for a long time. He's probably the one mainly selling secrets.
He may have been the conduit. I mean, he got him out of Trump. So Trump's the guardian of them. So he's at fault for what were they like in some equipment room or something is where they found a bunch of it. It's just insane.
Oh, this magician could be MBS. That's what I was looking. Yeah, the magician might be MBS, and then we have the Queen of Wands, and then it's almost like they needed that whole situation with Khashoggi or something needed to happen next to that Ten of Swords there. Strange. Wow. It's a bad feeling. I'm getting a headache now.
Yeah.
With Jared. I always felt him with one leg he's got like one step into the prison cell. Ugh. Okay. There was documents found with Macron's name on it. French. Was that all about the info for Putin and the election with Le Pen, or was it just?
No, I was showing the Jared thing.
You have some goods on Macron for the future, or is it the election?
Oh, it was pretty much that. You know what the thing is with all of these people? They're all crooks, and it's like everyone's in it for themselves. No one's on the page. Let's put together a plan. I don't know and that's why it's so hard to read on. It's like they're all ripping each other off. But at the end, for what's his name? For Jared, I get him trying to get away.
What's her name?
Whatever. And but then and I get him, giving the information. This is MSB or MBS or whatever his name is. They're but I get justice at the end, so it's all going to come out and be clear. And all right, so now we're going to read on Macron. So what's the why? Because he has documents on everybody. That's simple.
Pretty much. So is it for future use or?
What I got is the stuff they had on Macron wasn't all worth that much. What they were hoping to get was the tower and the Three of Swords, some way to really tear him down. But they never got it together. The first three cards said they never found it. They never got it together. So what they thought they had wasn't very real. But like I said, there got to be something on a guy who is, he married his high school drama teacher. So, she's 5 years older than he is, I think.
Maybe different laws.
Well, may I say, I never had a drama teacher in high school that was worth dating.
I get that they had something, but it didn't really amount to much. And it put them in a position where they couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike our grifters, which we have tons on, and they're terrible.
Weird. Yeah, I think you're right. They had to walk away from whatever.
Yeah, it's a big.
They were looking for some explosion. It may have been about the election, mostly to try to get Le Pen in there. They got the 9-10 of coins here, so it's like that feels like an election. And there was they may not have all the info they wanted on Macron too, because I had some burdens though with the 5 of Wands, and then they had to walk away from it, or not walk away, but 6 of Swords. So there's some arguing, some kind of bad energy feelings there in the past. And I have a Tower moment. So then it was more about talking instead of an actual documents.
Right.
So it's just like fake news stuff rather than actual
background noise. Background noise had no proof.
Right.
Oh, look, Danny Shea is here. Hi, Danny.
Good morning, Danny Shea.
Danny.
A little early for you, isn't it?
A
little early for Danny Shea, isn't it?
Well, it's 2 hours earlier in California. It's 8 in the morning. No, he gets up early.
Who gets up before 8 o'clock on Sundays?
Danny.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, finish that one.
Okay, what's the next?
What's the deal with where did I see it? Kimberly. I wanted to look at Kimberly.
Oh, okay.
What's the deal with this woman? Why was she even with Jared? Is she a plant mole? Is she gonna flip? Is there anything big she has? Just a general read on Kimberly Guilfoyle. I was like, she's a weird one. All up into.
Well, she was married to Gavin Newsom.
Right.
I mean, apparently she likes to find men in power to live off of.
Obviously.
It seems that way. Getting paid $60K a month from the Trump campaign to do lap dances. You hear that story? He's doing lap dances at Republican parties, whatever.
Oh my God. Yeah. She's in for the money. Please, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Just a strange gal. But yeah, she's best meme out there. The best is yet to come. She had to throw out there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
She got any goods on people? Why?
She likes money.
Is love real with Don Jr.?
And she feels powerless. She doesn't see a way for her to make the kind of money and power she wants, so she waits patiently and finds somebody. This has to do with drug, sex, rock and roll, and it's in her background. So she's walked away from addictive behaviors before, but it wasn't terribly successful. She couldn't find a set of goals to attach to. So a summary of her right now is she's afraid she's walking away from the field, and she's not with people she's really comfortable with. But actually, I see the woman going through, she may surprise us in the long term, because I see her going through major, major transitions after next spring. And it's because she's going to finally, she may be one of the people that really rats everybody out.
Wow.
But these two together are a huge change, and it's spring. So, but in her heart of hearts, it's because she's always, some part of her always feels powerless. And so she tends to try to go to people she thinks can give her the effect of power.
It feels like she's a gold digger.
Oh,
Feeling.
Really?
First clue.
I'm in shock.
Well, I'm trying to read the cards and not my opinion. Yeah, she's a gold digger, but she's gonna kind of makes a little sense there, Nancy, with your transformation cards.
Mm-hmm.
After this is all said and done, she is going to go through a transformation, I'm saying. She's been coming up with everything she's done from the past. She's going to go through a self-love hard time. So there might be depression. My life's over. When everything goes down here, she's wrapped up in it too. And she's the girlfriend, but she's going to find some dark times and have to find real self-love and look at the past and what she's actually done in her life instead of just go there, because she's going to lose everything, right? There's going to be trials coming up. I have the Justice, my court card, and secrets revealed in the Moon, and the Ace of Cups. So it's going to hit our core hard here soon. We have the Moon of October, but the secrets of the Moon are coming out within Justice, the courthouse, and then eventually it looks like she's going to move on to another man. King of Cups are decisions, choices, where I'm going to go. She's burdened by what she has now. So it's always centered around what her next man is going to be with that King of Cups.
Right.
So in my toss, I'm not seeing her. It's more about her, I guess. I'm not seeing anything about flipping or documents or she's going, but it looks like she's going along for a ride with the courthouse. She may have some secrets there and spill the cup water with the Ace of Cups.
Right.
Not seeing anything, but she's going along with it. So she may have something she knows, she'll flip up, but it seems like she's going to go through the depression stage and like, what have I done? The reflections. Where's my next target? But I don't think there's going to be another target.
No, by now anybody of influence is going to realize who she is.
Yeah.
Not that I'm sure Don Jr. was all that discerning in the first place.
All for the party.
I keep on getting that she's living in her own little fantasy world, because I start with this, which is sort of like the fairy tale. Knight in shining armor, right? But she was somewhat disappointed but she likes to be the star. She likes to be seen, and she likes all that. She thinks she's Betsy Bloomingdale or something. Oh, I'm the hostess, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's who she thinks she is. And all this, oh, it's true love. It's true love. You know, she's really living in a crazy fantasy. And it's like, I'm related to the dynasty. And look at how strong and my husband is. However,
Is she married to him?
no, but it's like,
They're
what's the
engaged.
difference? You know, this is what's going to end up being. Yeah. I'm going to tame him. I'll show everyone, but no, it's not. It's just not going to. It's this fantasy she's living in. She's just, that's what I keep on getting. She's living in this fantasy of, oh, I'm like sort of the first lady. Like, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting that whole, it's almost like a little girl living her little princess fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, in order to have the princess fantasy, you need your Prince Charming or your whatever. And it's like, well, if that one didn't work, then that one will work. It's almost like Jerry Hall, right?
Right.
From Mick to, it's like,
Crazy.
what? I think that's what it is.
Well, I think that gets help with a little bit of fairy dust that she uses occasionally.
Oh, you're not talking about the one that comes out of a wand, are you?
Well, it could come out of a wand. I don't know what they carry it in. I don't do that stuff.
Yeah, it's just nuts how all these people.
Yeah, it's this nostalgia. Oh, I'm a princess because my husband's so important, my boyfriend's so important. Look at me. It's like really that. She should get a job at like Disney World or something.
No, she reminds me of Kristen Sinema, who was in the Green Party. Then she was among the most. Then she was a big Bernie thing, and then she was, got in the Democrats, and they believed her, and then she became a closet Republican. I mean, that woman's all over the place.
A chameleon.
Yeah, but that's what happens when we don't have adequate mental health when people need it.
It's like someone mentioned there earlier. There, she was, an assistant district attorney. He knows what the law is. It's like, how can they people just do all this crazy stuff?
She does have a job at Disney World. Thank you, Catherine. It's like, well, maybe this week I could dress as Snow White, and maybe next week I could be Sleeping Beauty, and maybe the week after I could be, it's like, I don't know.
No, you forgot, Jeffrey. The best is yet to come.
Yes, is yet to come.
And I'm not going to yell it because my microphone works well. Okay.
I think maybe I should invest in different colored wigs.
Mm-hmm.
I think I looked at it with on a different show, but so 45 is all worried about who flipped on him, who let them know there were documents.
The guys who carried the boxes out. What do you mean?
Yeah, obvious suspects are aides, someone close, Secret Service, family, right? Obvious suspects. Let's do cold toes. Who's the informer that snitched on Trump about the documents? Ivanka or Jared? Well, Ivanka and Jared haven't really been down there.
That's true.
They have been avoiding the former guy. So it had to be someone that knows about the safe, that things are moved in the safe, because that's a big one. Unless they've seen it on video. So let's just see. Ivanka and Jared haven't really been down to that place. They've been on their own little trip, hiding. So let's see here. Who's the Secret Service? I don't want to influence your read, but I was having a Melania sense. Last Tuesday, I was getting a female energy.
You know what I keep on feeling?
What?
There's a lot more than two. This isn't one informant. This is
Yeah,
like,
what I did is I laid out 3 rows. I laid out 3 rows. One was staff, one was Secret Service, and the other one was someone in the family. And it's someone in the family that's close to someone in the staff that got the word out. And they got it out through the Secret Service, but the Secret Service really didn't want to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, they replaced all the Secret Service he took down there with him at first. They rotated in a new crew.
Dang, Nancy, you're getting a lot of info there.
Actually, I listen to Stephanie Miller every morning. She's a liberal talk show host.
Yeah.
And she gets on some really interesting background people. So
she used to have stuff on YouTube. Where does she where can you access her show?
On Sirius XM or Free Speech TV, or you can go you can just type in her name and it'll take you to a local radio station you can stream from.
Okay.
She used
to put her stuff on YouTube, but she quit.
There's some that's out there still. She has like Glenn Kirshner and those sorts of folks on all the time. She also has other people
right
that come with her. She has a lot of the Midas Touch people come over and talk about their sources. But I see clearly Melania got, that's the Ace of Cups in this deck. And that's the Eight of Wands. So that's her getting the word out. And then in between, the Secret Service was kind of like, they didn't really want to look. A lot of 3 of Swords, 2 of Swords. That's the strength, but not ready to go. But this is the one that was interesting, was the staff, because they had the 9 of Swords. They were very worried. Someone was placed there to watch out for this. And they were there to figure out the illusion. That's the 7 of Cups.
Yep.
And then this is where I think Melania was a connection to them, the Queen of Swords, because she fits the description of that for me. Although that's my card too, and I do not lump myself with Melania often. And they had the Page of Wands. That's the person that on staff that they were talking to, who completed the picture. The 10 of Wands said, okay, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to deal with it now. And it was the Knight of Swords. They went to the Knight of Swords. So I think it was Melania working with someone on the staff, watching where things were.
Wow.
If they put him in a cell 2 miles deep, like somebody said they should do in a Supermax prison, that would only make Melania's life so much better. Not that you should ever judge about anyone else's marriage, but.
See, I think there was a lot of worry there, but definitely someone flipped, and 45 is heartbroken. So I'm getting the star energy.
Mm-hmm.
Sentiment, but flipping. And then 3 of Swords, 5 of Coins. So there's some serious loss here and heartbreak. It definitely feels family related.
Mm-hmm.
I have, so the 6 of Coins is giving, receiving. Here's some documents or some flipping here too. Strength, 10 of Cups within the family and secretly. So with that star and the moon, we got some secret stuff going on within the family. And then I had the Page of Swords. So it's, someone new got brought into this scenario. So I'm thinking you're right. So it feels like possibly Melania or someone within his realm with the 10 of Cups. It's like AIDS, Melania, but then passed it off to a Secret Service alert.
Mm-hmm.
I do have the King of Wands in the beginning showing possibly like the feds or someone. choice, because you had the Two of Swords too. So this is in the past or whatever position, but it's like it's passed off to someone of authority.
Mm-hmm.
The Two of Swords choice and the Four of Swords, more secrecy, kind of like in the background, So it may have the alert eventually went to someone important, like a Secret Service that wasn't compromised,
Mm-hmm.
kind of feeling, but feels like family to me. I'm sticking mostly Melania as probably the start.
Interesting.
I'm not getting an aid because I got it's feminine energy with a star. They got heartbroken loss of money, but Ten of Cups is the big one for me. It's the family. It's within the family, within the circle.
Yeah. I got a lot of the same cards that both of you got. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I get, somebody going in a new path. You know what I get on this one? I get there was somebody that used to work there that left with some stuff. There was, right? But then I also got the 7 like you did. So that's why I feel like, excuse me, it's like we keep on trying to grab it, but I think there's a lot more people involved with this than we know. It's like you keep on trying to grab it, but you can't grab it. It's sort of like floating around.
Yeah.
And then I get like, Trump playing emperor. But look, then I get passing off information to one another. This could be the married son and daughter, right? Whatever. Could be. I also get family. Look, I know my cards are all over the place. I also get family. But I get more information coming. I get more and more and more. Oh, more and more. Getting that. And then, more coming. Somebody also involved in the government. There's somebody who works for the government that's actually, right? Here's the information. And then I get the Empress. So the Empress for me is like, it keeps flowing and flowing. I think there are a lot more people involved. Yep.
It's ain't over, yeah.
Abundance. It just keeps on. I think there are so many moles in there that they don't even realize.
Probably bumping into each other, digging stuff up.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
Thank you to all the lovely people who are contributing today.
Yes, thank you.
Well, also pretty sure the Secret Service got informed you don't work for the former guy, or you're gone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially all the text messages and all the big booming changes here lately.
But the ones they erased were the civilians that were in there, that not the ones that have been there. Cuccinelli from Virginia and stuff. They're the ones that they hid all their messages. And those are the ones he placed in there. I remember after the election, a lot of people being very upset about these people showing up that were his loyalists.
You know what it reminds me of? This whole thing reminds me of Get Smart.
Yep.
The whole thing of control and chaos, and then they're like, spies on each side. Like that's what it reminds me of.
There's a lot of. If I miss comments, I apologize, but it's going by fast. A lot of peaks today. Woo-woo. Thank you. Much to you.
Good job.
Okay, got that.
Jeffrey, I have a gift for you.
What?
What you got going on?
My daughter made this for you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh,
We're sending it to Mexico.
Oh, thank you.
It's got eucalyptus and
Unakite, red jasper,
tiger's eye,
orange agate.
And orange agate.
Thank you so much.
That's beautiful.
She's playing with that, folks. She wants to make my grids a little more affordable. Thank you for the commercial in the middle of your show, Scott.
Sorry.
No
She
problem.
just came running in and said, I finished Jeffrey's.
We all need a little break.
And
Well, if we need another little break, this T-shirt, which is actually my astrologic chart,
yeah,
was
it's really
made for
lovely.
me. Was made for me by a lovely lady that I met through Kim and Debbie's medium class. And she was an astrologer, and she and I did a mediumship together. She's real sweetie. She's opening her own channel, which I don't know what the name of it is, but she sent me this, and I got it just before I went to Colorado. And it's all glittery, but it's
So is it raised or is it?
Yes, it's raised. She actually.
I think they do that with this stuff called Gupta. Which is the gel, and you can. Sometimes people do that with scarves. And so it'll stop the color from running into another
Right. Yes. My daughter was looking at it. She goes, "That's your chart," because she knows a little bit about me. She said, "That's your chart." And I was, "That's right." Okay, now we can. Sorry about that, boring people to death at home, but
that's beautiful though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ian. We're drinking coffee on you.
I have no more coffee left.
Stock up there, my friend. Stock up. Yeah, I gotta get more coffee myself, actually. I'm almost out. Espionage charges now. The Espionage Act is being thrown out there. That was part of the warrant.
That's a really good question, Kelly.
Yesterday, I'll look at it, but yesterday the Republicans, well, I shouldn't say Republicans, Rand Paul, that weird fanatic, suggested we abandon the Espionage Act. Can't imagine why he thinks. And all those senators who went to Russia on Independence Day.
Yeah. Old Rand Paul handed a note to Putin for 45.
And your beloved, not yet in the running Senator Ron Johnson was there.
Oh, he's going down. I have faith in Mandela Barnes.
Yeah, it looks like you have a good candidate.
Yeah.
Mandela. And what about your governor? I'm tired of talking about my governor's race. What about your governor's race?
A guy is facing a guy. So a Trump-backed Tim Michaels is facing Mr. Evers, the current Tony Evers, the current one. But at first he wanted this Rebecca woman. Oh, she was a fruitcake. She's kind of like a Curry Lake of Wisconsin.
Oh no!
But she didn't win.
I hate to say it, but when women in politics go off the rails, they really are worse than the guys, except for Mastriano, which I think is in a class of his own in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy stuff?
But Beto's finally speaking to them here in their own language. He called them MFers, the people that laughed when he was talking about Uvalde. And I've never seen a room turn so fast. I mean, whoa.
Nothing. You can't beat what he's doing. There's no way he can lose when he's going to pretty much every district and doing town hall after town hall and
he's done 80. He's done 80. There's a meme in Texas, and it's like a little meter, and it's public meetings Abbott's had, and then the meter counting up Beto's, and they start on the day. And last time I saw Beto's done 85, and as my oldest son, this is not my opinion, but my oldest son calls Governor Abbott Hot Wheels. He said, Hot Wheels has done. Jeffrey freaks out at my family and how they deal with politics.
I don't know if you. So I woke up this morning, I seen a CNN thing, and I mentioned it to you guys, but it kind of goes along with this Trump follower mindset. There was that CNN breaking news that someone rammed into the Capitol and then shot himself. It's like these crazies need to go.
Well, they're going at their own hand. They're going at their own hand.
They're taking care of themselves, right? The fool that.
What is our question? Oh, potential espionage charges. Because I just looked down at my cards and said, what am I reading about?
Yeah. Well, it's more about. I think Kelly's got more about the Trump followers.
Okay, will it change the Trump followers?
Yeah. I mean, we can look at the charges separately, but it's more about
No.
all these charges coming out. It's the radicalism of what the GOP's doing that, and even 45 that this stuff is happening lately. The guy in Cincinnati trying to take a nail gun and an AR-15 to shoot FBI. Then there was something in Arizona, I think, going after the FBI in Phoenix. Another school kills himself on the Capitol. What's it going to take to stop these people? I think we need the GOP to stop talking BS too publicly.
Yes. Well, they won't till they have to pay a price for it. But what I got on potential espionage charges, shifting his followers, I got the first card was temperance, which means they're willing to hang in there and think that they're the ones who are balanced. But I see the 8 of Cups, they're starting to walk away.
Yeah.
And right now, some of them are holding on. It's 4 of Coins. They're holding on because they don't want to let go of the beliefs that they've established for themselves.
Right.
But it's coming. The mindset is going to shift, and they're going to be out looking for other people to connect to, the lovers. They're going to have to make a choice. So I read that one of the things I've seen in the shifting that's happening after 8-8 Lionsgate, that's one of the things we saw when we did the reading that night, is that we have to be open and with more patience and compassion towards them, because if we're impatient and show no compassion for the fact they got totally deluded and don't give them some grace to come back in to the fold, they never will. So now's our time to stand up and be the grown-ups.
Right. Yeah. Do you want to go, Scott?
I just looked at them. I was commenting and reading the comments a little bit, or thinking. So I got to analyze. Go ahead.
Okay, go, Jeff.
Yeah, so I get the Empress. So the Empress is all about flow. But then I get the 6 of Cups, and the 6 of Cups is like, it's like the past, the gift. But I do my 3-card read. I get Judgment. And for me, Judgment is I learned my lesson. I incorporated the lesson inside my body, and now I'm ready to see things differently in a new way. So I get, they had good times with their insanity, and it's like, oh, it's just like the past. But then at the end of the day, I get Judgment. And Judgment is, to me, it's like I've learned my lesson completely and thoroughly, and I've learned it so thoroughly that I'm reborn. So that's an interesting reading. I didn't think that that's the way it was going to go. I thought they're going to be in their own, but not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them. Yeah, because then I get new ideas coming, but there are some that are going to be left in the moon, left it howling. It's okay, but I think a good portion of them.
I think so. But we have to have compassion and not make them crawl through dirt to get back in to good graces.
This is a tough throw to analyze. But basically, it's just going to be the actions of many are just going to hold on to that faith yet. Some are long gone.
Okay.
Because I don't see a walking away, kind of feeling, like people get arrested. There's going to be those few for a long time that just drunk the Kool-Aid and can't get over it. Just not saying it. At 4 of Coins, they're holding on. But I got Temperance. Ace of, this is my ending cards. A whole throw, and this is the end. The Ace of Wands, Temperance, Queen of Swords, and 4 of Coins. So like 4 of Coins is really sticking out to me. Like they're going to hold on forever.
Mm-hmm.
So the Queen of Wands is authority. It's the law coming, and Ace of Wands here is that actions coming. Just hold on tight. Take your temperance, your loving source. What's good? Stay in your own space, like Nancy said, or some Jut said, whatever. Compassion. It'll happen. It'll slow down. The Kool-Aid drinkers are gonna be Kool-Aid drinkers, but they're chipping away. People are chipping away at the facts. It's gonna help a lot of the sane people because Garland's gonna take a leap of faith here soon. So I have the King of Swords. This is moving forward to my end, right? I have Garland and I have possibly Lisa Monaco. I have King and Queen of Swords.
Yeah.
They aren't stopping and waiting to the election. This is what I'm getting. They're when it comes, it comes. Garland, DOJ energy, the Fool, and 7 of Coins. When they're plucking enough coins, they get it right. They are going to take that leap of faith and stop the BS. People are going down when they're ready. So I got my ending. I got 45 is severely worried. Not the ending. My first cards that came out. It's talking about 45. King of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, and the Hermit. I think he's freaking out with those cards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to happen. I got a Wheel of Fortune coming.
That's a big
King
shift.
of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, and Knight of Wands. The energy shifting.
Yeah.
The energy shifting within the Biden administration. The better energy is shifting. Universal energy. Everything's going good. That's the center of the reading, right? So I kind of did it backwards. That's my ending for but this is the energy I focus on first. The King of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Wands. This is all good things are coming. Good things are coming energy. All that's good. This shift is happening. It's universal energies. So no worries. Just stay in your zone. Stay away from psychos. But the Kool-Aid drinkers are never going to leave. They could all be busted, They could all go to prison. And they'll probably still think it's a hoax. They'll still think JFK is going to be the vice president. Junior.
Yeah.
But
and I'm in the city. I'm in the city. And I'm living in the city where they all ran to and waited outside of. They waited within 100 yards of where his father got shot for JFK Jr. to come back. Really? They're all insane.
Ugh. It's mind-numbing that. I mean, I'm all into the energy of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, in a proper government. But I would never want to take up arms over the man. I don't worship. I would never worship anyone that much more than, except myself. To do this crazy stuff, AR-15s, and since their Mad King gets a search warrant, we're going to take up arms. It's nuts. It's utterly nuts. Crazy. I know, right, Renee? JFK
Can we do a slight change?
Yes.
Can we do a slight change?
Sure.
And look at what the impact will be of the legislation the Dems passed, that they passed this week, the new infrastructure and all the other stuff that's coming up, and the changes to Medicare and all that. How's that going to affect the U.S.?
Was that the CARES Act?
They call it.
What act was that?
Who asked it? Nobody here. I've been asked it though.
Was that the CARES Act?
Yeah.
I think it was the CARES Act.
CARES Act. Thank you.
That's it. Scott's so quick on the keyboard getting stuff on.
Yeah, not terribly quick, you know. Yeah, click there. All right, that just passed with the impact. What impact? We got drugs in there. We got better tax laws,
Wow.
solar, or Inflation Reduction Act. I think that's it. Something like that. Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Inflation Reduction. That basically the same thing, kind of. Hello, Deborah.
Wow.
Okay, inflation reduction.
Very interesting. What an interesting little reading. What an interesting reading.
You bet, Linda. Weird. Well, I'm going to save this. It flew out.
Should I go?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, you know, I'm going to try to show my cards. Give me a second. Because I throw them toward myself and then I switch around. And then I'll show all of you. Okay, here we go. I started here. So I get that it was like, it was almost intuitive. You know, there was like an intuitive quality, like we got messages from above to do it. And I get a complete transformation, which is wonderful. I get us coming out of the dark rather swiftly, right? And really being called by our own light. Like there's almost a spiritual thing to it. You know, it's like the light's going to lead us. And once it starts kicking in, it's going to kick in really quick. Oh, you can't see all the cards. I'm sorry. And it's going to bring more work. It takes responsibility, and it's actually really fiscally responsible. It's actually really fiscally responsible. It's going to bring work. I mean, this is all really good. This is all really good. Yeah,
mine's very good. Mine's very good too.
Place. So's mine. You gonna go, Scott?
I don't think the effects of this act are going to take long at all. I sense it's more of the healthcare stuff. You know, the talking to Medicare or whatever. The healthcare things are going to kick in like soon. That feels like really good because I got 10 of Cups, victory. With the other stuff, it might take a little while. I'm not getting like a long wait, but the Knight of Pentacles is coming in, strength, and then it feels like the climate thing stuff. That's going to happen right away too, but this feels like the climate stuff with the strength, Knight of Pentacles, and the death. It feels like the ending of what's been. You know, so like the climate stuff in there is going to feel like, you know, adding chargers or whatever, start ramping up the solar, and wind, what do they call that? Deficit. Or, they're going to, those money back coupons or whatever you want to call it, right? Incentives to do that.
Right.
It feels like once that starts kicking in, and people actually start buying solar that can and putting up stuff, it's like the earth is happy and it triggers, like immediate reduction on stuff. But the media thing feels like it's mostly all about the health care in there. Going to jumpstart pretty well. Six of Swords and the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups feeling. All about the family and the home. There's going to be a victory there. It won't take long with the moon, like a moon cycle. It's
Right.
Then I got a King of Swords in the back end working on it, to make sure everything flows right. No, what do you call it? No corruption in the government with this plan. Everything's going to be great with this. I really feel good about it.
Yeah. I got the Knight of Swords, and in this deck it's a Barracuda, but it hides beneath the surface, but then it's emerging. This was in the past. And it got past all the petty fighting and began to build something great for people. And it's gracing us with Seven of Pentacles, and that we're beginning to understand the value of it. And in the near future, I got a Hermit too. I think both of you got the Hermit too. It's like the spider that builds its web and then looks back and just waits for it to produce what the spider web's supposed to produce. And now it's time for them to rest and let this happen. Put the information out and let the different parts of the government start to function again. It's not really easy to turn a government back on that's been so seriously stopped. It's like what's going to happen in Texas. We're 51st in just about everything. And, ramping up mental health in this state and ramping up all these things is going to be difficult. But you're right about drugs and Medicare. That's just a word that goes across, and they won't pay for it. And Big Pharma has to take it, whether they like it or not. Well, so that's going to be something that immediately. I know so many older people that have type 2 diabetes that really can't afford the meds that they wanted them to be on. And now, they've taken it from almost $100 per vial of it to less than $25, and that's got to help.
On Medicare, yeah.
We can thank Kristen Sinema for that too, because she's the one who blocked it from going across all of them.
Across the board, yeah. We'll get that next year.
Yeah. That's why everybody needs to vote blue.
Vote blue, we'll get it next year. And I believe it's going to happen. Honestly, my sense is I feel no fear about the Senate because those aren't gerrymandered, right? It's a full state.
No. Mm-hmm.
You can't gerrymander in a full state. I have a little bit of worry about the House. If we keep the House, get through gerrymandering, it'll happen. I have no fears about the Senate. I think that's going.
Look what happened in Kansas. They had 1,000% increase in the registered voters. That's happening all over the country.
Yes, it's happening.
People are, and that just means there are going to be that many more. A lot of counties I know in Texas, and talking to my friends that are operatives here, that the GOP was counting on, these little counties that are the sort of used to be the suburban counties around like Travis, around Austin. So many people have moved out there that are more liberal because there was no Austin priced them out of the market, and that's where they are now. And we're seeing that in counties around Dallas, which have been blood red up until now. Not so much. I think we're going to see some real surprises, at least here, and I presume in other states from talking to my friends who work there. That's true. Karen, about 2,000 cap on prescription drugs is huge.
Yep, it's going to help a lot of people. I feel like that's going to be like immediate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this GOP are just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
All mad that Biden wants to add more IRS agents.
How are you going to collect the money if you don't send someone out to look for it? And they're not going after the little guy. Most of them are going to be on answering your questions, because I run my own small business, and I had filed my own taxes last year, and I just waited hours to talk to them about things.
True, Lisa. No, I'm saying I feel both Democrats. I mean, we'll be checking in on it as we get close to the election, of course. There's still 90 plus days, but I still think we're going to have it. you know, it's just a little tougher with the crazy gerrymandering and whatnot. Because I went to vote quickly. I went to vote in my primary, and I was looking. I found out I'm in a new district now.
Oh.
For the state. So for the last 20 years, it's been a square based
that made
on.
Sense.
It made sense. Now it looks like Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So it's like I have a new representative now. I didn't even know who to vote for. I'm like, wait a minute, who are these people? I thought I was voting for the same person, right? That's been there for 20 years. So now it goes all the way over to the east, counties we don't even have to deal with. So it goes up like this, and then a square, and then it got a bunch of squiggly lines here. Then goes straight, and there's got this little square, and we're in the tip right here in the new district when it used to be a square. Down on the right hand corner, it's got all these wiggly lines in and out, in and out. This is nuts. How could that get approved?
That's where the term gerrymander came from. It was created when they redo districts, and it looked like a big salamander crawling around, on the map. And the guy who put it together, his name was Jerry, so they came up with the term gerrymander, and that's what it means. And one of the things that people have proposed about in some of the states that have cleaned up their ability to gerrymander, one of the things they write about is putting things in cohesive geographic holes. So, you may all be people with a lot of farmland, but at least you have a common interest in keeping the agriculture or whatever, you want to do. What they did in Texas to clean Austin is more liberal. It used to be, still is. And they just went to right in front of the state house, and they took a line and drew it into 4 quarters. And then one quarter went southwest, one went southeast, one went northwest, one went northeast. And I don't know if you understand how far things are in Texas, but there's the one that goes northeast, connects to parts of Fort Worth, which is like a 4-hour drive, There's a whole lot of nothing in between those two, but they don't have a lot in common. And it manages so that Austin can only produce 1 Democratic congressman and 3 Republicans. That's what gerrymandering does. That's why it's so unfair. It's unfair to everybody who lives there. Not just because it's blogging out Democrats, but I lived in a state where they used to do it to Republicans. So, just saying.
Yeah, it makes no sense. As far as the IRS goes, it makes no sense to go after people that make 50 grand. You're going to go all this work, to get what? Maybe $800? It ain't worth for them to come out. They're going to go after the big dogs that are cheating.
The other thing is Scott's story is something everybody needs to know. You can go on Ballotpedia or into your own state files and find out where you are voting, because a lot of this has happened to people. But the only thing I can tell you that's a good sign is in 2000, when the Democrats drew the district lines, then when George Bush got elected, Jr. got elected in 2002, the first thing they did was open a special legislative session to redraw the districts. And they did. And that got Supreme Court approval. So if your state's really screwed up, try to get as many Democrats in as you can, and they can do that. They can redraw the districts.
Yep, very true, Kevin. Once the voter rights bill is passed next year, things will get changed. Yeah, I think some are still in limbo, but judges have said it has to stay for right now, figure it out later. But yeah, I could not believe when I seen the new maps for the state contests were all messed up. Just crazy.
Wisconsin used to be it was a lovely state. I used to vacation there as a child. It was full of happy people. Now
Oh, it still is. You just got to stay out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you see all these wacky hand-painted signs that Trump's coming back. When you go through the country valleys and whatnot. Generally in town, it's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger
Are there
town.
plots? Are there really plots to kill Bolton and Pompeo?
Yes, they had their own security approved by Biden that because Iran has
A little burglar.
bounties out on Pompeo and Bolton.
Oh,
And 45's on the bounty list too, but he's already got security. But yeah, come to find out, Pompeo's had Secret Service paid for to protect him since he left. And usually, I guess Bolton was saying he usually Trump denied him Secret Service after he left, but Biden put it back on because of the intel for the rest of his life.
mm-hmm. Do we want to read about that?
Yeah, just a few cards. Is it? How bad is it? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they caught a guy, I guess. What I was seeing that was serious about Bolton. They just arrested a guy that was serious about taking Bolton out. Just
Doesn't
a few.
like mustaches?
No, maybe it's because he's a warmonger and they know it. The intel.
God.
Whether you like Bolton or not, if somebody killed him, especially if somebody from another country, that doesn't really look good for us.
No.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's in our best interest to protect them, whether we like them or not.
Okay, I'm going to do them in the order of Bolton first. His greatest threat is from a woman.
Wow.
And he really worries about this. Bolton really worries about that. It's the Nine of Swords.
Yeah.
But he's built kind of a safe harbor for himself. That's why we haven't heard from him. Yeah, and this would be Biden keeping his security up. He's got the Three of Wands, so he's got, it stopped him from being able to go out of the country and do business where he wanted to do business, but he's complying with what the emperor tells him to do so he can survive. That's Bolton. Pompeo thought he had it made in the shade, and now he's got the Nine of Wands. Now he realizes he has to really secure himself. He's fallen back in with his family and people close to him. He would like to be able to move forward in a positive way. That's the Ace of Cups. But he can't because he's got the message loud and clear that he's in danger. So he's hiding out too.
Oh yeah.
What'd you
I
get?
got a lot of protection.
Mm,
The first two cards are Ace of Cups, Knight of Cups. So yeah, there's
okay.
plenty of protection around him. He feels good though, but that's the protection side. But there is a lot of burdens, worries, anxiety in his own. This is the Nine of Swords and the Ten of Wands. So
Yeah.
internally, it's freaking him out that there's a bounty on him. But there is protection. I see the Biden order with the Three of Coins and the Four of Wands. So that's being united and an order of protection with the Three of Coins. I don't see any threat of him passing whatever, but I also have the Eight of Swords. So he's kind of locked up. He did it to himself, basically, with his orders and what he was doing. Kind of like a Dick Cheney back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Two of Wands, he's searching that assistance. He was actually on the bottom deck. I had the Tower, so he was actually surprised that there was a hit on him. He didn't think anyone would come after him with his actions, but it was a shock. So he's worried yet, but no, he's going to be fine. I don't see anyone getting on a hit on anyone. Intel's on it. I don't see any Iran hit happening, but it's real.
Oh, it's very real. It's very real.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm really.
He's taking it serious.
Yeah, I mean, I get like quite a lot of them want to do it, and there have been threats, and they're going to have to go to a safe place, and kind of transform, because otherwise things are not going to be good, and they have to have a change of the way of their thinking, but they are protected by a lot. And the angel is with them. And they have to stay in the dark. They have to stay hidden. They have to stay hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the government is taking care of it. But this is a very real threat. Very real. It's not. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like they're going to have to transform and change their whole energy and all their habits and stuff in order to stay safe. Like that's the way it goes. Yeah, stay, isolated in the garden. Yep, because we took responsibility for it. Yeah, it's fine, but that's what happens.
I'm liking these kitty cards today. I can't remember the name of them, but they're from overseas, but they're all cats.
Meow.
Meow meows. Now
Yeah, I've got a couple cat decks.
I
I get so distracted looking at how cute the kitties are. Yeah, I mean, I think we should all take all those kinds of threats seriously, because look at how long they've been stalking Salman Rushdie.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Take a quick look at Pompeo's future here. I guess the January 6th committee got Elaine Chao was interviewed. I think they're going to get investigative DeVos in there. They're working on Pompeo.
It's like, how many thieves can there possibly be?
A lot.
A lot.
They're trying to get cooperation now from the secretaries. They want to know the facts around the 25th Amendment thing.
Right. You got to realize, too, this is living proof that the metaphysical theory that like attracts like. Look at the people that got attracted in there.
Right.
I mean,
a lot of money people.
A lot of money people and people with no morals and scruples whatsoever.
And they can benefit from being in the secretary's office. Every single one of them. Wilbur Ross, Mnuchin, DeVos, Elaine Chao, every single one of them grifters.
All right, can we read on something lovely and positive now?
Yes. Okay, we did. We read on the CARES Act, and that's going to be lovely.
Yeah.
What is your suggestion?
We threw in lovely there.
One can never have too many lovelies.
No, that's true.
Since everyone's talking about Pompeo, I just want to look at his future quick.
Okay.
Who?
Pompeo. Susan saying,
so lovely. Well, he got skinny. Maybe it's worrying about being killed. That's what skinnied him up.
Could be. People made jokes he wasn't living fat in the government. He had to actually do a diet. I'd say it was more stress.
Oh.
Ooh. Well, I saw in the past, he saw himself as King of Pentacles, which is actually in this deck, it's kind of an evil card. And he really pushed that in his evil self but he saw himself as being temperate. Okay, that's his past. Where he is right now, he's in the middle of the tower. He is not sure where he's going at all. And in the near future, he's got the jackalope, which in this deck is the devil. And his out card is the Seven of Swords, which is nothing but worry. I think Mike's got worse problems than we know.
I don't know if about how quick Pompeo lost weight. It's not healthy.
Oh, he had a stomach intervention thing. He had that.
He had to have, because he just went from that to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not healthy how quick he lost weight like that. But anyway, it's just strange occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
He does have aspirations for the White House. I am seeing that.
And they're fast falling apart, though.
Oh, of course. They're showing the aspirations, but it ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna get in there, you know. But, let's see. Weird. Did you throw Jeffrey, or just waiting on me?
Okay, so we begin with.
I can still go, but it's up to you. I'm just curious.
We begin with the thief.
Yeah, I got that too.
I mean, and then he's a fool. He's a fool. And, you know, because he's living in some sort of fantasy world, he's going to have to defend himself because the truth is going to be revealed. And it's going to be a gift for all of us. But then there's something hidden that hasn't come out yet. There's something hidden that hasn't come out yet. But it's going to be revealed. And it's going to be very, very clear. And it's going to put him under a lot of stress because this is his end.
Yeah, I had a tower and I had the 7 in mine too. So.
But he's living in some fantasy world, just like all of them. They're all living in like, oh, well, if I wish it to be true, it'll be true. If I wish it to be true, it'll be true. You know, like they're all living in this, like, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people are not living in reality.
Yeah, it's pretty much my sense is he's not living reality either. I mean, if he watches social media or when he does talk, it's all nonsense yet. 10 of Wands, Knight of Wands, and the 7 of Cups. It's basically all nonsense. You know, his energy is all nonsense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where I'm getting that he has aspirations for the White House. Strength, Hierophant, and then the 5 of Swords, though. Yeah, the 5 of Swords. That, to me, is like it's not going to happen with that 5 of Swords surrounding his aspirations for the White House. My overall energy I got is the Deceit card and the Sun. So something's coming out. The whole idea of his energy and what lies he's done, what he's held on to, is coming to light within these investigations. You know, it's coming to light. Then I have a lot of female energy. So maybe some things to do with his wife and 45. So I have his wife and 45 coming here in the end. Queen of Cups and the King of Coins. And then I have a Queen of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So there's some investigations failing coming up on him. And it's coming in quick with the Wands.
Uh-huh.
And it's dealing with his wife and 45. So there might be some things he did illegally that are going to be investigated. It's on the backside that he's not totally aware of. So look out.
Here it comes, guys. I'm just waiting. Y'all, how old were you when Watergate happened? Do you
I was 4.
I was 10.
I was 4.
Okay. I was 22. And that's how much older. But I saw the whole hearings and watched the rats leave the ship and watched them turn on each other. It's just starting, kids. It just is. And I knew it would because I grew up just south of Chicago, and I had friends who had family members that were in the Italian end of the business, in the mafia. And I knew how tough those guys could hang. They would never snitch on each other generally. But then I saw all these people that grew up in the world I grew up in, of incredible white privilege in their little suits with their ties. I knew those guys would flip in a second because I watched people around my older brother, what they would do to get themselves out of a thing. And that's what we're about to see. We're about to see a whole lot of, except this time there'll be as many women involved, because women, unfortunately.
Yeah. I keep on getting the same, like, it's like this never-ending garden. We keep on pulling up more and more and more and more. It's going to go on for a long time because because the roots go so deep. You got to pull that.
And we have to get, and this, I agree totally with everyone says we have to get Trump. We have to get them to, the wackos are never going to acknowledge it, but the majority of the public has to see it. Yeah, I know. But they have to, it's like people, it's like I've had friends who stayed with husbands that were beating them, and they were telling me it was not so bad. And I'm like, how bad does bad have to get before you get realistic? And it's where their loyalty lies. And, human minds are very, very capable of deluding themselves. So.
True.
What's Stefanik's future?
Yeah, I'll be right back. Me and my water.
Yep.
Okay, your water.
This is going to be the last one.
Okay.
And then something nice to finish with.
Okay.
So Elise Stefanik, she's the one that took over for Liz Cheney as the House rep for leadership.
She's second in leadership in the Republican Party.
So she's still talking a lot of lies. Garbage. This continues it. It's kind of funny. She had a speech the other day talking. Well, they're all doing it, but talking about transparency and defunding the FBI. The American people need to know. Then the next day, Garland releases it, or the judge does. Releases the whole warrant. It just destroyed their talking points.
I thought it was beautiful. I was in Colorado when they were really screaming all that stuff with my friend that is a paralegal, and she said, they don't really want this warrant open. They really don't want this. They don't want the affidavit that goes along with it. They think they do.
Oh, I know it. There's got to be a huge compromise on some of these people to continue to do that stuff. Just unreal.
Well, they all saw what happened to Liz Cheney. They all turned on each other like, like horrible creatures. And they don't want that to happen to them. And so they're hoping to stave it off. Now, the ones I wonder about are the Republicans you never hear anything about that are really, really quiet.
And what about them?
Well, they're as complicit because without their votes, they couldn't have thrown Liz Cheney out. They didn't stand with her.
Liz Cheney will never be president.
No.
She may run, but she'll never be president.
Okay, are we reading on Stefanik?
Yeah.
Yep. Fine. Okay, I can go if you guys are still considering. She is a much wiser creature. She was in the past a much wiser creature, and she lived heavily by her instincts, and she did okay. And she forged an alliance with some people with the Three of Pentacles there. But now she's in complete transition. Death, the complete turnover. Death doesn't mean death like we think about it. It means transition, and it means everything you knew from yesterday is gone, and you're going into a whole new future. And she's going to try to salvage this somehow with the Ace of Cups. That's what she thinks she's doing. But what she's actually, and she's going she's going to retreat back into family in a place where she can feel safe. So that's her future. Her future does not look all that grim, but it's not going to be in the public eye.
So I don't even honestly know who she is. Like,
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I mean, my first card was this. It's like she's gone.
Yeah.
She's gone. She's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a lot of chaos around her, right? And she accepted this gift from somebody that was sort of, I don't know how to put it. It's like she took something on, but something that wasn't mature.
Mm-hmm.
And then here she is isolated with her family.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, she can't get away from her own thoughts. She can't get away from her own thoughts, and something like a whole transition is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's somewhere else. She's somewhere else. She's totally somewhere else. Yeah, I don't know who she is or what she does in the government, but she ain't going to be there for her. That's what I get.
She's the number 2 House representative now.
As a Republican.
As a Republican, yeah.
Okay.
Like Karen said up there, she used to be reasonable. She fired all of her staff and went full MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's coming up on a change.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to get called out with everything that happens. She's going to have a change. So, and I do have transformation coffin. So what you're getting, Jeffrey, behind the scenes, I think this is very stressful on her.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't in her soul to lie, but she's either bought off or something, or worried about what the other people would do to her. So coffin and transformation.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some new beginnings coming up for her, and she's going to have to transform. I had the moon also. And the mice. It's all about stresses.
What are the mice?
Secret things inside her. So what she's saying on the outside don't fit her real feelings. So it's all secretive BS. So all I got is suffering and transformation. The cross in the book, end it. The cross is burdens, sacrifice, and grief, suffering. And the book is the facts are going to come out. So she's going to have a transformation when the truth comes out about the whole MAGA party, everything, why they did it, the lies. It's going to take her down. Everyone that's been doing this, I sense, it's going to take them down. It's going to ruin the party.
It already has.
Well, it's going to ruin it worse. Supporting the former guy and what they say and all the lies. It's like the Dominion lawsuit against Fox News is continuing. Mm-hmm. They're going to owe a ton of money. They're not taking. There's been talks for, a payout to let it go away. Dominion's like, nah, we're going to trial.
Yep.
We're going into discovery and trial. Mm-hmm. And the judge is allowing it. Same with Rudy and Powell. No, we're going to trial. We're having a jury decide. We're not going to take no bargain. Fox News is going to be in big trouble for this too. Mm-hmm. They can't just pay him $1 million and have it walk away. No, they're paying. They're paying. So when all this comes out, all right, one more quick. Read on Liz. She's got her primary Tuesday.
Okay.
Polls have her down 30 plus, whatever it is.
It's funny, as I took my little break, I was thinking about Liz Cheney. I was thinking about her, but it's like, let me throw that out.
So it is possible Democrats, since there's probably no chance a Democrat's going to win the seat, it is possible any Democrats could flip over and vote for her.
That's true. Well, they have open primaries, so you can do that. You don't have to be registered to vote in a certain primary.
That's interesting.
We have those in Texas too.
Well, the general you can flip. In the primary, I had to vote in Wisconsin anyway. I had to vote straight Dems. I couldn't flip parties. But in the primary or the general, you can vote anyone.
Okay, but what happens is you have to pick a party to vote for in primaries, but in some states you have to be registered to that party so many days before. You just can't walk in the day of the thing and say, okay, today I'm a Democrat, next year I'll be a Republican. You have to
It's like that in New York. It's like that in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everything's different, but there's no registration in Wisconsin who you are. You have your voting record.
That's how we do it in Texas, is to see who's who. She has a good chance of beating it, of getting in. People appreciate what she's doing. They see her as a person who's in control, and they like it. This is a good type, kind of in control. A lot of people are going to move out of their safety zones and not hide at home and show up. But you got the Seven of Swords, so the Republicans that are the main part of the party are trying to do everything they can to steal it. And she doesn't have any ability to change how that's going to come. But I have a feeling from what I saw in these cards that it's the people in her state. And, since they know they're going to have a Republican no matter what, they may as well go get the most palatable one. And I'd hate to see them have to go forward in the new Congress without her being on the January 6th committee, because she's been the person who's got a lot of those Republicans to come in and talk. And we know Kinzinger is not going to be there because he's already not running.
What do you get, Scott?
Oh, it's a tough throw in a sense of, yes, she'll win.
Mm-hmm.
There is an ending. Okay. This feels like Dad.
Mm-hmm.
It's like her dad helped a little bit here lately.
Mm-hmm.
Messaging, whatever. So I got King of Coins, Ace of Coins, and then a Tower moment, though. I see that Tower coming and that change. It's like, it's bad, but it's good, but it might be not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she has angelic thoughts and what she's doing now, it may not be enough. Mm-hmm. So I have my angelic card and everything good helping her,
Mm-hmm.
but then I have the dark one next to it. It may not be enough.
Yeah.
So it actually feels close, but she may lose by a few points, I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But it's restricted her. Everything she's done has restricted her.
Right.
I had the sun card basically, but this is all that's good too, sun and strength. But then I had the Eight of Swords next to that. It's like everything she's done lately has restricted her voters. So I mean the polls feel way off, but she's got good things coming, even though if she loses.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, she might lose by 3 points or something like that, 3%. It's close, but I don't see her winning.
Yeah. So when I went to the bet, I was thinking about her before we asked, and I was like, she ain't going to hold it, but she has so many other things to do with herself. But okay. So that was my initial impression, even before the question was asked. So this is walking away. I get her, really trying to balance things, but in a certain way being reborn. It's almost like sometimes, we try to hold on to something and then it doesn't come through, and it's actually for our best because I'm starting a new journey. And then I get, like this Mars energy of being able to delegate in a new way, like to be in charge of things. And then I got 3 5s in a row. So
wow.
Change.
Freedom or chaos.
Right. Whoa. Change. And then I get the Hierophant, which is another 5. Mm-hmm. So I think there might be another government thing that she's offered. Like it might not be the Senate, but there might be something else. Like maybe Biden will offer her something. I don't know. But I think like there's something like a government thing that she's going to be offered, and she's going to end up being stable and actually, frugal. But this isn't such a bad. This is not a bad card. You know, it can go either way, but it's a stable card. So it's almost like she's done her job. She did what she was supposed to do, and she can sit and live with herself. So I think that's what the balance was about. And I think part of her, even though she wants to hang on to it, part of her is kind of relieved. Part of her is kind of relieved.
I'd say
something new coming in.
Adam Kinzinger isn't running, so they could be a ticket for the presidency and vice presidency in 2 years.
Yeah,
take a 2-year break from politics and then try.
There are other jobs aside from being a representative or a senator. There are other jobs.
Yeah. Yep. Right, Dwight. One door closed, another opens.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want a sunny, happy subject.
Oh, just a message. Bring a message.
Okay. I use my new Oracle cards.
Knight of Wands.
Yeah, it's interesting that you asked that, Susan, how she balanced out her dad's evilness. She has to balance out her own evilness. Her father has to balance out his.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I just tossed a couple cards if she's getting a position somewhere else. I don't see it. Either Knight of Wands, Page of Swords, and Queen of Cups. She's done her duty. What I'm sensing of that. The Knight of Wands is energy, what she's doing. Page of Swords is taking on new actions, new developments. Queen of Cups, it's like she's done her duty. That doesn't show me it's like a new position. She's inspired. She's taking on the actions, the hard things, and then the Queen of Cups. I'm like, I did my job for my country.
Yeah,
that doesn't show to me an offer of another job. So, but anyway, I pulled 3 cards up for the day and some information. I got 3 major. Justice, Judgment, and the Emperor.
Wow.
Oh.
Cards of the week. That's why I pulled those 3. Justice. So, Judgment is renewal from the past and moving forward, releasing judgments upon yourself. Justice is all about balancing. And then the Emperor is being true to yourself. Logic and structure. It's just a strange throw. How I get 3 like that. You want to go ahead? I gotta think about this a little more.
Okay, I got this card, which is the Healing Amethyst. It's the Healing Diva. It's called Amethyst Awakenings. And it means healing addictive patterns and behaviors, healing shame and guilt, aligning the heart and the mind, and setting with and honoring uncomfortable emotions. So that's the coming week. We're going to go through that. And the message is, you have entered into a powerful and important time when you will have the ability and the strength to heal your own addictive behaviors. You are encouraged to be honest and ask yourself exactly what your addictions are. An addiction is anything that encourages you to escape from pain, even if it's something that seems positive to you. But it is a time to bring back normalcy by realigning your psyche.
Lovely.
And it's a really, really pretty. It's a very, very clear amethyst.
Beautiful.
Well, I have some big cards too. I have the Empress, Strength, and the King of Pentacles.
Wow. Okay.
More big.
Yeah. So, it's interesting you should talk about balance because, this has a real divine feminine energy, right? It's Venus or Mother Earth or both. And then we have the one who's really based solidly on the ground here, and this is a really masculine energy. This is really about being on this plane. This is really on other planes, and then strength in the middle. I feel like there's going to be a balance between heart and mind, a balance between the physical environment and the spiritual environment. So I feel like it feels lovely. It feels lovely. It's like it's a balance between divine masculine, divine feminine, that leads toward health and toward being led in a beautiful way. Because I always get with this card, there's this energy of spirit focusing our energy toward our own best interest. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take my cards too. I think that's great. So I started asking, what are these cards supposed to mean? Are they for the collective people, or what's going on this week? And I'm like, well, these three majors are more about what's going on in the universe.
It's a long term.
It's the long-term balancing act. So the Emperor is more like our universal source energy, God source, love source. Judgment is being placed upon the negative side. So this Emperor is working on a balancing act and making everything better, right? So we're moving forward. So that's why I think these majors mean is that collective energy going through the fall, the end of summer and the fall. The shift is going on. We're balancing renewal and bringing back what should be better. Hopefully, like moving out of COVID, getting justice to happen, judgment upon other people, that need it. It's also making the crazies more crazy. They can't handle that shift of the goodness coming and that Knight of Wands energy coming down. So I think this is more a toss of the energy for the end of the year, actually, the goodness. You had the King of Coins, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the same feeling of the Emperor. It's just logic, the structure, the way things should be coming through.
Yeah.
The earth energy with King of Coins.
Yeah, and practical.
So it's a good thing. I mean, these are good things. It is, justice doesn't have to be legal. Justice can be balancing the soul. The scales finally get where they should be. So that was kind of strange. I just grabbed this huge deck and I just split it. I'm like, give me those top cards. I'm not going to shuffle these things. Three majors.
Well, so I think on that we should bow out and tell everyone to have a wonderful week.
Blessing.
Definitely. Blessings all. It's been, think positively, Nora, going through tough times.
We understand that, and we're here no matter what. So,
everyone, if you're going through tough times, stay focused, stay positive. Don't dwell on the negative. It'll just keep you there. Oh, I got to get rid of this CARES Act quick. Not supposed to be there. But blessings to all, and thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Love to you.